Hi, this is Digital Femme and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share an experience on how my plants talked to me. And if you want to hear about it, then you better continue watching. Hi, I'm glad you stayed. So, as you can see, I have a lot of plants, and this isn't even the half of it. You just don't know. Over to my left is a Monstera deliciosa plant, and it's actually a cutting from a larger plant which sits over there that is like 5 feet tall. And behind me over here to the right is my Ficus lyrata, otherwise known as the popular fiddle leaf fig. And this pot over here is my golden pothos, which actually goes all the way up to the ceiling, across the room, that goes all the way down and curls around at the bottom of the floor, just behind this camera. Now, we've all heard that there are people who talk to their plants, and there's also certain music that plants respond to based on growth and studies and sensors that people have either attached to the soil or to the plant itself, and they monitored it over time to see which music or frequencies plants respond to better. Did I repeat myself? Anyway, so my plant talking story occurred sometime last year, and this was after many months of establishing a morning routine of meditation. So normally, Mondays are dedicated to watering my plants. And there was one particular Monday where I would go through my system or pattern of watering my plants. Pattern would be I would water all the small plants first, and then I would tackle the 4 large ones. And one of the 4 large ones, which is the Monstera deliciosa, which is over here, which you can't see, I was going to get to it, but because it sits at the end of the living room behind a cafe table right here where I use as a workstation, in order to get to it, I would have to move it. So on one particular Monday, I wasn't able to get to it because I think I had to run an errand. So I watered everything else except that particular plant, knowing that when I come back, I would water it. And by the time I got home, I had to deal with work-related stuff because there was a deadline due the next day. And because I spent extra hours running the errand, I ended up finishing the project late into the night. So I was really, really tired by the time I got to bed. So here I am, trying to fall asleep, closing my eyes, and feeling myself start to drift to sleep. Now, as I was starting to sleep, while my eyes were closed, I started to see an outline of the Monstera deliciosa. And it was the first time I had ever experienced seeing with my eyes closed the plant in detail. And as my eyes were closed, I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I panned, I guess, I don't know how to describe it. I kind of like panned my eyeballs within my eyes to see around the plant. And sure enough, I envisioned the pothos plant that was hanging up from the ceiling down to it. And I envisioned all the other plants on the shelf beside it. And it was just like I was basically seeing my whole living room. Now, the way it looked in my mind was I definitely could see the outline. I can't really say that the color was green other than it was just like in a soft black background as it is when you close your eyes, but I could distinctly make out the patterns of the leaves. And even though my eyes are closed, I found this so fascinating so that I was able to actually look closer into the plant and focus on a particular leaf, and I was amazed at the detail that I saw all while my eyes were closed, and this was just all in the vision of my mind. And I was like, oh, this is really so neat. So anyway, I was like, okay, so I accepted it. I accepted what I was seeing in my head. So I just started to continue to go to sleep again, but I couldn't sleep because it was like the vision of the Monstera deliciosa and then the golden pothos and then the Ficus lyrata. They were just like all popping, or not popping, but they started to just like all come to me while my eyes were closed, like in a dream. I wasn't even dreaming. I was basically still awake, but my eyes were closed, but I was super, super drowsy. And I was like thinking, what is going on? And then I kind of like relaxed and just decided to accept and I guess appreciate the visions that I was seeing. And then I saw the Monstera deliciosa again, and it just kept like, the whole plant was just like, there it was. And it was like going, oh, it wasn't making a sound, but you get me. It was like doing this. The leaves were doing this, and it was like coming at me, like just like this visually while my eyes were closed in my head. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, I forgot to water that plant today. I was going to, but I had to run an errand, and then the errand took long, and then when I got home, I ended up finishing a project that I needed to do because it was due the next day, and so once I realized this, I opened my eyes, and I just kind of like laid in bed with a smile on my face. And basically, I was smiling because I was like, okay, the plant was talking to me. It was telling me, you didn't water me. You forgot about me. And the golden pothos and the Pachira aquatica and the Ficus lyrata, they were all chiming in saying, hey, like, don't forget the Monstera deliciosa. So I got up. I was like talking out loud to my plant, and I was kind of like giggling, not giggling, but laughing softly out loud, saying, oh, I get it. I get it. Sorry I forgot to water you. Thank you for reminding me. And it was like, it was so natural. I mean, I don't know. I guess I accepted that the plant spoke to me, however it did, and that, yeah. So I went to the kitchen. I got a pot, made the water lukewarm, slightly cooler, and began to, move the cafe table and water the plant. And that was the most amazing experience. And the funny thing is, the next night, while I was just starting to fall asleep, I saw the plants again. And this happened almost every night for maybe about a week. And it came to be that I would expect it. It was like, when I would fall asleep, I would close my eyes and I could see the plants, and they would just all show themselves to me. And at this point, I wasn't thinking that they were talking to me. At this point, I truly believed that for some reason, I was able to connect to them on a certain, I wouldn't call it a dimension. I wouldn't even call it a plane of existence. I'm just going to go out and say that through my months of morning meditation and really being committed to it, it had allowed me to, I guess, reach another state of vibration or level of vibration or frequency that the plants perhaps operated on, and I was able to just always be connected to them, even with my eyes closed, while I was consciously still awake. And that's one of these stories that I said in one of my earlier videos that I have so many more of. I hope you enjoy the story. And if you like and you subscribe to this channel, tomorrow I'll tell you about my experience with a dragon. No joke. So today is my 18th video in the 1166-day challenge. And if you don't know what that is, it is me choosing to do one thing for 1 hour a day for 66 days straight. And I've chosen to do one video for about 1 hour a day for 66 days straight. And tomorrow will be my 19th video, and that video would be the story about the dragon. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting my channel. Bye.